911, what's the location of emergency?
The neighbor's daughters ran to my house, running to my house, and that someone is in the house meeting.
That 911 caller told police she was talking to children who believed their mom had been shot. But as dispatchers asked for a description of the gunman, the caller reported stunning news.
All black and a white man. He back. That's the house. She went in the house.
Police surrounded the home and officers eventually went inside, but there was nothing they could do for the adult woman who lived there.
A single mother of two living in Dayton, Ohio, had plans to make 2025 her best year yet. As the new year rolled in, 34-year-old Matyka Brown had made up her mind that it was going to be a year full of growth, love, and endless possibilities. Through life's ups and downs, she did not care how many times she had to start over, but she was not going to settle for a life she did not want. She knew that sometimes you have to go through struggles to figure out life the right way. Despite her positive outlook on life for her future, her past would come creeping up behind her to destroy everything she was working so hard to build. 34-year-old Matyka Brown was the definition of a true go-getter. She was not only a devoted mother of two girls who were 9 and 14, but a hard worker and a business owner. Her greatest passion was beauty, cosmetic, and personal care, and she ran a business called TJ's Braids and Nails. As a licensed cosmetologist, she was always working on a way to perfect her skills and talent and set up a shop in her home for a more personal experience. Over the past few years, she continued to build her clientele while also working a 9-to-5 to support her kids. Matyka, as a person who many call Tyka, was described as a beautiful soul who was always in good spirits and kept a positive attitude. If she was your friend, she was a great friend, and all who knew her called her a sweet person. Despite the positive in her life, she was recently in a relationship with a man with a troubled past. 32-year-old Tony Jackson Jr. had recently gotten out of jail after being found guilty in 2020 for armed robbery. Now, it is not clear if the two were talking before he went to jail, but they were in a relationship when he got out. Even though he was not the father of her two girls, they referred to him as their stepfather, but his behavior in front of them was everything but fatherly. According to court records back in October 2024, Tony tried to take Matyka's life by suffocating her, and he would end up behind bars for strangulation, misdemeanor harm, aggravated menacing, and DV charges on October 28, 2024. Sadly, a grand jury declined to indict Tony, and the case was dismissed as he was a free man yet again. But tragically, the worst was yet to come, because within a few months from that horrible incident, he would end up taking Matyka's life. Between late in the night of February 9th and the very early morning hours of February 10th, Matyka was out for the night and probably having a great time. While she was away that Super Bowl night, Tony was busy taking her cameras down and then broke into her home. He was said to have climbed into a window and laid in waiting for Matyka to turn home. Around 2:20 a.m. after returning home is when Tony allegedly bombarded the family with multiple shots. The 9 and 14-year-old were able to run out the home over to a neighbor's place who called 911 immediately. While on the call, the neighbor told the dispatchers that the girls came running to her house and said that someone in their house was shooting. The 911 caller told police the children believed their mother had been shot. As the dispatcher asked for a description of the suspect, the caller reported that he was back at the home and that he had just went back in the house. At the time, it was not totally clear who was doing the shooting, but a man had left the home and came back while police were en route. The kids would tell authorities that they were ambushed in the upstairs part of their home, and one of the girls said they saw their mother getting shot while fleeing. Allegedly, Tony also burglarized the home too while he was there and even walked away and came back to shoot her more, taking her life. When police got on the scene, they quickly surrounded the home and officers eventually went inside. However, it was already too late for Matyka. Tony was ultimately charged with 2 counts of aggravated unaliving, 2 counts of taking a life, 2 counts of felonious harm, and 2 counts of aggravated burglary, tampering with evidence, and having a weapon while under disability. He was also on parole still and just did not give a damn about playing God and ruining lives. He should have never been released.
And this story is heartbreaking because police also told us that Matyka Brown's 14 and 9-year-old daughters actually heard the gunshots as they ran out of the home looking to get help. Now, they believe the ex-boyfriend came to Millicent Avenue here off Nicholas Road and climbed in a window like this one at 2 a.m., then waited and attacked the defenseless woman.
I won't go into that great of detail, but I will say that the kids began to flee the residence with mom still there when the shots were fired.
Major Brian Johns told me that 34-year-old Matyka Brown once had a relationship with a man that attacked her, and during or after that relationship, police believe he'd been previously with her.
He had been arrested back in October for strangulation of our victim in this case, Miss Brown. So we're following up on that case. Our suspect has a lengthy history of arrest, crime.
John said Brown was pronounced at her home. Police managed to get a description of the man, and not long after the first crews pulled up here, they managed to arrest that man nearby. They've not released the man's name officially, but our search of Montgomery County jail records show that 32-year-old Tony Jackson was arrested on Millicent Avenue and booked into jail on suspicion of just a couple hours after the first 911 calls.
The suspect had left the scene, and he was later arrested in West Dayton.
Major John said the department is trying to help family members support the two girls now left without a mother and likely left with a lot of confusion and heartbreak.
Since Matyka has many different clients doing hair and nails, many people in the community knew her and loved her. Hearing the terrible news that she lost her life to a coward who had no regard for life truly broke all who love her. The system definitely failed her with the one attempt on her life we know about in October 2024, and he was still able to be out on the streets. Charges dismissed like her life did not matter, and all of this while he just had gotten out of jail from doing years. None of it is adding up on how he could be able to be in the outside world. It was blatantly obvious that he was a repeat offender and that something to this magnitude could happen from his previous actions. Now I'm sure he might be behind bars finally for the rest of his life if he is found guilty, but it is already too late. A family's lives have been ruined. Two kids lost their mother by a person they refer to as their stepdad, and all of it happened right in front of their face. No person deserves to experience such trauma, especially young people, and it's becoming way too common. Matyka is now forever 34 and still had a whole life ahead of her with plans for her future. Her life surely mattered, and she should still be here. My heartfelt thoughts and prayers go out to her children and everyone in the community who cherished her. Do you agree that the system failed her like I do? Let me know. Also, please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.